So, to give you a summary on what is going on, the X virus had affected the U.S. after the detonation of the gene bomb, which resulted in the death of millions. Doug Ramsey is calling himself Revelation now, and this is where we pick up with where we get a monologue. It's been 5 years into the age of revelation. Our world was once the greatest God to ever live. We were safe in her embrace. She protected us. She nurtured us. She called herself Storm, but she was the stillness that calmed all the turbulence that ever threatened us. We loved her. Her affection for us incomparable, whirling from the deepest parts of her heart to envelop us with kind deeds. But one day suddenly, without warning, our God went mad. Now, to know peace, we must wage war against our shield. To care for our children, we require great acts of wickedness against our mother. For the good of our planet, we must brutalize our God. We must commit. Storm, as of this moment, is chained up, but we do not know why or how that even happened. Which is crazy because the goddess shouldn't be chained up like that. But we end up switching over to Rogue, which is Rogue and Gateway. Have a conversation about Rogue, where Rogue says, figure we'll be riding through hell and high water with this one, Gateway. Gateway is not happy about the task at hand. He sighs, but Rogue reminds Gateway, Storm ain't our friend anymore. What's in there is a dragon in need of slaying. She folds this whole damn desert, and she'll kill the whole world if we don't swing the damn sword hard. Whatever time we got left, be choke full of regrets if we don't wage this war. And they really are ready to wage war on the Mutant Goddess, because whatever's going on with Storm, she literally put a desert and almost turned it into ice. Or I shouldn't say almost, she actually did turn it to ice. She's getting ready to create a whole new ice age. But we end up seeing Akoji, who begins to talk to Rogue Red. She says, I was worried you had changed your mind, my dear Rogue Red. Every part of me has been throbbing, quivering at the thought of putting a blade in your friend's skull right in front of you. Phantomex has a funny response to what Akojin says by stating that if stuff hits the fan, he's putting a gun to Gateway's head and getting out of there because Gateway don't want no smoke right now. Because he's telling them that he is tuckered out of the near-death experience trying to save the world at this point. And that's but so we're gonna see if that happens. But Warpath responds to Phantomex, abandoned us on the battlefield, and now so I'll hunt you down myself. While Iceman asks, are we sure these creatures can actually take down these storm engines? Now, these creatures can talk. And it tells Iceman that their world was molded from war. So all they know how to do is fight. They crave it and they want to die in battle. As is telling Iceman all this, one of the guardians of the storm engine interrupts and says, I am joint consciousness and operation system of the storm engine. The mother work is not to be disturbed. Teleport out of this vicinity immediately or you will be decimated. Of course, they don't listen, with Phantomex attacking but doing no damage to one of the storm engines. Another machine comes crashing down, which excites the creature, who goes on the offense, but in the process, it gets his arm ripped off. In the end, they take one down, but they still have 3 more to go. The other 3 are standing ready for battle. One of them says, Mother, work is not to be disturbed. Teleport out this vicinity or be decimated. It just repeated itself. But it actually shoots out something that looks like a wind scar at X-Force. But Gateway comes to the rescue and absorbs the attack. Rollware asks, where did Gateway send the attack? But Gateway says he didn't send it anywhere but absorbed it. Gateway was about to use it for a counterattack when he is stabbed in the back by one of the guardians who said mother work is not to be disturbed. She alone can save the world. She alone can halt the slow advancement of Armageddon. Iceman sees that Gateway has been killed and begins to lose it. He transforms himself to what looks like to be a Jotun, or aka a frost giant. The Guardian then turns around and kills the war monster. Warpath attacks the Guardian, telling it he just wants to give back the vibranium knives Storm gave him. The Guardians retaliate against Warpath, knocking him out, with Iceman using a giant fist hits the Guardian. Aquagen tells Rogue to get out of here, but Rogue tells her she can still fight. Now, I'm not really sure about this, but it looks like Rogue Red does not have the powers of the original Rogue, or as they call her, Rogue Green so far. She might just be a regular human, or she lost some of the power that Rogue Green has. I'm not sure yet. Then we see that Iceman gets shot between his chest, but it's Iceman. He's an Omega level mutant, so we know he isn't dead. Now, we do get a little bit of a flashback where we are at the Collector's Menagerie. This is 2 years into the Age of Revelation. It goes like this. Why do bad things happen to good people? A quarry as ancient as age. At our lures, we catch ourselves questioning if we deserve our circumstances. Bad things happen. Good things happen. But sometimes, things just happen. And the universe leaves us to decide if they're good or bad. On a mission to rescue those in her care from an immortal elder of the universe, Rogue was caught off guard and forcibly splintered into two personalities, Rogue Green and Rogue Red, the original and the copy. And when a man love for one woman is all-consuming, when he has dedicated his life to hers as much as Gambit has to Rogue Green, there is no room for another. But our God, the great made of Elysium, a gift, alloy. I asked Moon Girl to take the remains of my guard armor for my safe to fashion a new alloy just for you. The durability of adamantium, the kinetic energy manipulation of vibranium, and the amplification properties of mysterium in the presence of both metals. You will not need your lost Herculean strength to inflict devastating damage when you strike your fist. I know what it is like to have your ability suddenly stripped from you. You have memories of touching the clouds and wrestling with giants. This is no replacement, but thank you, Aurora, she said while she is in tears, which the goddess responded with a smile. Why you fake me? Are we not best friends? That's when we go back to the Sahara Desert, where Rogue Red says, me. That's all that matters. That's all I need at the end of the day. And what she's talking about is the fight that her and her team are in right now. Since the flashback is over, it is stated with the gift of Aurora Monroe, the last storm god, in her grasp. Anna Marie unleashes a barrage of blows on the Storm Protector. She fights with nothing held back from the battlefield. She fights to prove to herself and the world that she is her own person, not inferior replica. She puts the agony of self-doubt, heartbreak, abandonment, and betrayal until one last strike, destroying the machine. Nothing will stand in her way. Nothing will hinder her quest to murder her dearest friend. Now, I enjoy this because they're kind of making it semi-anime nowadays, where she says that, Rogue Red, by the way, she says decapitating uppercut, which I thought was funny. I don't know about y'all, but that was funny. Decapitating uppercut. Man, that's funny. But it then tells us that gods are not easy to vanquish. Now, we are in Nigeria, where it says that carnage is currency of the gods. To kill a god, you must outspend them in brutality. You must send them to the lowest circle of hell, from which none return. A failed decide incurs genocide. The primal storm is death incarnate, vengeance personified. Rogue Red, her uncanny X-Force, should never assault Aurora Monroe life. Aurora then says, where are the murders you shelter? And this, my friends, on how the chapter ends. You all know how much I enjoy these Storm books. I think that they're amazing, and this book is no different. There were some things that I think they could have done better, like the Rogue Red situation and the Storm Protectors. But again, this is 5 years into Age of Revelation, so I can't wait to cover the next two, and they'll be coming out soon. So be on the lookout for that. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Peace out, y'all.